Hey guys, Keys here, back with another Veracity video. So Veracity currently sitting at 0.0072, which is actually where we were just about a week ago when we last spoke about Veracity, and it looks like we did bounce off of it, came to the top of the symmetrical triangle and got rejected, and we're just back to where we were at. And I still think that there is a chance that we come down to the bottom of the parallel channel, which is 0.0058 or just under 0.006. And I just really think that it's more likely now, I think, than it even was a week ago, just because, we came back into the triangle, but we tried to break out and we got rejected. And so that's why I think it is actually a little bit more likely, but it still might not happen. We could still hold it. We'll just have to wait and see. So if you wanted to buy more Veracity or just, DCA in a little bit, I think just waiting until we are at it would be a good idea. And if you're, not really looking to get any more Veracity, then it's still just to sit in your hands and do nothing um, until, we're actually at some really juicy levels, which I still think we're going to get to this year. But yeah, that's the USD pair. The Bitcoin pair looks actually more interesting. And you can actually see today, it's literally today's candle that looks like we're breaking down from the falling wedge. So I'm gonna flip to the weekly, and you can kind of see how, because falling wedges do typically break up, it's higher chance that they do break up, and we technically did break up, but it was just a failed breakup or breakout, and looks like we're actually starting to break down. And this is actually what I saw Bitcoin do in 2022, where it had a falling wedge and it broke up from it just as you would expect, but it couldn't sustain it, and it failed, and then it ended up breaking down. And I think that we could be seeing that with Veracity right now on the Bitcoin pair. And another reason why I actually think that this breakdown could actually maybe turn into something a little bit bigger, like coming down to this line here or this box, which is at around 700 Satoshis for the line and between 400 to 600 Satoshis for the box, is because of Bitcoin dominance. And if you take a look at Bitcoin dominance, you can actually see that, well, you already saw the arrow that I drew, but I'm pretty sure, I have a feeling that Bitcoin dominance is actually about to break up. It really looks like it's going to, just based off the weekly charts. I mean, look how many times we tried breaking this box that we're in right now. We've constantly been hammering at it for months, and not only are we closing candles in it, like these were all wicks before, but last week we closed a candle. This week we actually used the bottom of it to bounce. You can kind of see we wicked down, but like we actually held it, now we're bouncing up. So Bitcoin dominance to me looks like it's about to break up. And what that means is that all the altcoins, maybe you might have one or two exceptions, but basically every single altcoin against Bitcoin, they're all going to break down. And if they're all going to break down and we're already kind of breaking down, then it seems likely that we would come down, to these levels. I don't know which level really, because it's kind of hard. Like, I'm going to switch it to the line chart because it's a little bit cleaner, but there really isn't any like clear level from, historically that we can use. I think the box and the line are, decent levels. But yeah, I don't know exactly where we would like find support, but I do think that there is a good chance that Veracity against Bitcoin might be coming down. And in the short term, I guess that would just feel a little bad because, going down just always feels bad. But in my opinion, if we actually came down to these levels, that would actually present a really, really big opportunity for to gain on Bitcoin. Especially if you're trying to work to your first bit, like one whole Bitcoin. It's really difficult to do that. Well, first of all, it's like impossible to do if you're just buying Bitcoin, because then you literally have to like buy up to a full Bitcoin. But maybe you're trying to trade it to a full Bitcoin, which is pretty difficult. But I think one way to gain on Bitcoin and actually get to a full Bitcoin, if that's what you're looking to do, is to look at these Bitcoin pairs against, look at the all these coins against their Bitcoin pair, and not just with Veracity, but on any, you know, altcoin against Bitcoin. But if we came down to these levels, you know, let's say we do come down to like 700, or, you know, maybe the middle of this box, then to me that's just a really, really good opportunity to make gains on Bitcoin. And these are really big moves because, first of all, like, we're definitely not going to be down here forever for Veracity. I don't think we're going to. Even if we came down here, even if it was for a little bit of time, eventually I think we would get a move up. And if you take a look at how big of these percentage moves are, they're really big, actually. Like, if we came to the midpoint of this box, just to get back to where we are now is around 112%. So you're doubling your Bitcoin at that point. And if we came to any of these peaks, you can see how big of a move it is. This one's 373. This peak is 819. This peak, 1200. And then this one is 1600. And then the top is 2900%. And I think that Veracity will eventually be in this area again, which, you know, you could say is around a 1500% move on Bitcoin. So that would be converting one Bitcoin down here. Let's say you had one Bitcoin and you converted it all to Veracity down here. At the top, it would be worth 15 Bitcoin. That's not even like, maybe we do come all the way to the top, but, you know, I do think we're coming to these levels. You know, even this peak right here is like, you know, 12 Bitcoin. So these moves are really, really massive. And the only way you can really get massive moves is if you're really low down. So if we do come down here, which I think there is actually a good chance we do, I think it's just a really good opportunity to convert some Bitcoin into Veracity and actually make gains against Bitcoin, which is really hard to do these days. So we'll just have to see if that happens. I don't know if we're going to break down, but I think that with Bitcoin dominance looking like it's about to break up, and with the halving is next Friday on April 19th, you know, maybe Bitcoin just gets a big move up and it kind of just leaves all these altcoins behind. And that's what would break it down, right? So I don't know if that's going to play out, but if it does, then I think that it is a really good opportunity to convert some Bitcoin. But we'll see if it happens. So yeah, guys, that's Veracity against Bitcoin. That's just Veracity in general, really. So really just to sit in your hands and do nothing still. You know, even if you wanted to buy more Veracity, I think that waiting to see if we come down here would be a good idea, to the bottom of the parallel channel, because it's actually never broken. Every time we came to it, it was a really good time to buy. So we'll see if we get down there. We'll see what happens with Bitcoin on the Bitcoin pair, Veracity Bitcoin. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.